talk about lodge appearance, structure, rental, and leases. This is nowhere in your manual. It's as if I brought up the trustees section 2 years ago. It was something I thought that should be added. This is something we want to implement into this seminar. Your lodge appearance. How many think they have a beautiful lodge? You think you have a beautiful, how many think they have a beautiful lodge hall? How many don't? I'm surprised. I'm really surprised because you visit these lodges, and to be frank, they need a lot of improvement. They need painting in their hall. I mean, a lot of work from previous leads. The reason we're talking about this, you have weeds in the front, garbage in the front, graffiti on your building. It's how you maintain our image in your communities. That's important to us. That's important to us even at Grand Lodge. There was actually discussion at Sovereign Grand Lodge last August to pull the charter of those lodges not maintaining a good appearance. Did you know that? That was tossed around. I heard that. I sat in on the committee meetings. You need to maintain the appearance of your lodge. It's like here, the dignity of our organization. We didn't have it at Santanella last year because this is more worthy here in this type of space of our organization. It's a way I feel, okay? And it's a way you should feel about your lodges. Take pride in your lodges. Financing, that's a whole other matter. If you lose the ability to maintain your lodges, you're on the road to losing your lodge. Thankfully, Grand Lodge this year implemented a program which is going to offer a grant to those lodges who qualify for this grant for a certain dollar amount to do improvements, necessary improvements, mostly emergency improvements. I know there are lodges in here that have elevators broken, that needed repair, didn't have money. I know there are lodges that have windows broken, just roof leaks, without a good roof, you're going to lose your entire building. The roof and the foundation are the most important features of your building. If you get a leak, your foundation's going within a year. The wood will start rotting, it'll reach all the way down to the plates, and then those will start rotting. Hopefully you don't have termites, because that will start deteriorating the wood. What we're trying to do is get you to take pride in your lodges. Okay, granted you don't have all the money at once. I'm going to tell you a little story. I came to manage an Oddfellows building, and the building didn't have the money it needed to maintain this building. And the way we got around that, we didn't have that type of income to address, oh, we need an entire sprinkler system. That's $700,000. We have a 60,000 square foot Oddfellows building. That's quite large. And we didn't have the money to maintain it anymore. And at that time, I didn't see the lodges contributing the money. So what we had to do is find contractors who were willing to take payments over a long period of time without charging interest. And believe me, they are out there. We ended up in a 4.5-year period putting a $700,000 sprinkler system into our building. That combined with leases, expanding low price per square foot lease space, getting your building filled up. If you have this type of building, I understand every building is unique. So think about how you want to reach those goals of improving your building. I'm available after this seminar, even when I'm back home. I'll give you all my phone number. I'll give all of you my number. you can call me and ask me and bounce ideas off me, and I will tell you how we did it. And you can take pieces, whatever works for your lodges, take it. But you have members. I'm just one member. I know there are several leaders in this organization, in this room right now, who can give you some answers that you can take with you that might help you. Don't let your lodges deteriorate. Don't let them disappear. With that,
let me add a couple things. For nearly all of our lodges, our lodge building is our biggest asset, our biggest valued cash asset. And aside from being our biggest cash asset, it's our biggest figurative asset as well. Because if our lodge is a welcoming place, a well-maintained place, members are going to be more interested in being there. People are going to be more interested in joining our lodges. Many of our lodges have rental properties. The classic Oddfellow design has meeting rooms upstairs and rental downstairs. And the vast majority of the lodges do have rental properties. And if we maintain that asset, maintain both the rental and the meeting areas, we're going to be able to utilize it for rentals. Many lodges rent our lodges for events. If you maintain your lodges, the community is going to want to rent your lodge for activities. And that has a twofold benefit. One, you're bringing in rental income. Two, you're getting exposure in your community, so people are now going to say, oh, there's the Oddfellows Lodge. That's a nice facility. How many of you have been to places or even in your own community before you joined the Oddfellows and had no idea where the Oddfellows Lodge was or what the Oddfellows were? The Grand Master was telling me about a visit he made to the St. Helena Lodge. He was standing right across the street from the lodge and talking with a couple of employees in the business, and he was asking them where the Oddfellows Lodge was. They didn't know. It was right across the street. And that kind of tells you something about that lodge's effort to be visible in their community. And actually, the St. Helena Lodge is a very energetic, vibrant lodge. They're strong, they do a lot of things in the community, but they could be more visible. And I think many of our lodges could be more visible. And so we can and should take advantage of that asset because it's going to help us in many ways. And another thing is, when you bring the community in, when we're using your lodge, you may attract members from those community groups. Our lodge has been successful and people have rented our lodge or done fundraisers at our lodge, and we've got new members out of those people. So it can help you in more than one way.
okay, leases. Does anyone know when you need to contact Grand Lodge about a lease? What's the duration of the lease?
More than 1 year.
1 year or more, that's correct. So if you have a lease you're going to enter, you need to contact Grand Lodge by code, because Grand Lodge has the means to review that lease and or to get you to a person who can review that lease with you to make sure you're getting the best deal. The leases must benefit the landlord. Okay? You don't give it all away. We've seen that happen too.
Be very careful about leasing space to members or family of members. We've seen examples over time about how insiders are renting the property and getting these sweetheart deals, and you're really violating your duty to your lodge when you do that. The people you rent to should be paying fair market value. It's a business. That part of the lodge is a business. And if you don't have the expertise in your lodge to make sure it's run properly and managed properly, find someone who can help you. My lodge is a good example. We just got out of a lease with a long-term tenant. It was a real estate company. And they negotiated a lease with our lodge like 20 years ago or something. It was long before, almost none of our current members were members then. But I think they're the ones who drafted the lease, and it was a 5-year lease with like a right to renew it multiple times, and new 5-year leases, and by the time they moved out, their rental rate was way below the current market rate. And so take that responsibility seriously, and as I say, if you don't have experienced people in your lodge to know how to negotiate leases in a fair way, get outside help, hire a lawyer or hire a realtor or someone who has a certain amount of expertise, because that is one of your main assets.
Okay, and also, remember, you're tax exempt. That income from rental income is all related income, so you don't pay tax on that. You're a 501c8, 501c2, 501c3, depending what your entity represents. So you don't pay tax on that. So if your lodge is able to lease any space, try to look at that too, if you need income to improve your building. With that, based on that little short presentation, if you have questions about this, post those on the wall or contact me, okay? And we can get you to the right people, hopefully throw enough answers at you that you can resolve any issues. We had a brother in here. He's a licensed contractor, and he has a license in the state of California, who offered to travel nearby and to charge half price to any lodges. So, brother, would you stand up? State your name.
My name's Rick Fabro. I'm with the Auburn Lodge, and my name's Rick Fabro. I'm with the Auburn Lodge. I'm a licensed contractor, general contractor with the state of California, and I do handyman work from rooftop to basements. And I'm offering half price to all lodges if they need work on their lodge. I'll do it for half price. It'll help the lodges save a lot of money, and I can meet new people.
Thank you, brother.
And I have a webpage. It's called Money. Just get a hold of me later, and I can give it to you.
He does great work.
In conjunction with the comments by Peter and Dave, there are 2 programs that you should be aware of developed by the Grand Lodge that are available to virtually all your lodges starting January 1. Number 1, there is a lodge improvement program that will be funded by the Grand Lodge for the sale of defunct lodges. And most lodges will be eligible to apply for funds from that program. I think it's even posted on the website of the lodge, of the Grand Lodge, where you can apply for money for your lodge improvements like roof, new windows, what have you. Secondly, I initiated a lodge beautification contest this year. Has anyone submitted an application in that contest so far? I know your lodge has, Paul. They're going to win it if no one else submits. There are several prizes, including money and nice awards. But if you have a program that beautifies your lodge, landscaping, new windows, paint, you name it, submit, and you could win.
One other comment about the use of your lodge. For those of us who have lodges that we rent out to individual events, think about developing some sort of marketing plan. And it could be something formal where you somehow get your name out there on the internet or in the community, or it could be informal where you reach out to members of organizations or wedding planners or somewhere out there where people start finding out that your lodge has a rental place that could meet their needs. This is especially for lodges that have rental space that doesn't get used as much as they could. Might as well try to take advantage of it as much as you can.
Thank you, Grand Warden Dave Reed.
Alderman.
This is a topic we're going to get in, and we're going to see more come up in the future. Maintain your buildings, okay? Don't let people walk into your building and see a leak. I think we walked into one lodge in Red Bluff, and there were 5 leaks. There were like 10 buckets on the floor, and they wondered why their charter was pulled. Okay? And it wasn't just for that, but maintain your buildings. Ask for help. Okay? Don't let your building reach that point. With that.